Howdy team. Today we're going to work on Access Chapter 3 and open the file exploring A03 grader. Whenever I download the file, I go ahead and resave that file with my last name. If you end up uploading the file more than once, I suggest putting a 1, a 2, or a 3, or a 4 in front of your name as you upload those files for revisiting and grading. So that's my suggestion. You do what works best for you. Let's get started. That's the end of step 1. Step 2. Create a query using query design from the clients table, displaying the client's first and last name, and the accounts table. Let's get started with starting a query design. We know that right now for our all access objects, all we have is 3 tables. We do not have any queries at this point in time. So we're going to come over here to create. And we're going to go to the query panel and choose query design. When we do that, the show table dialog pops up. So Access is saying you have an accounts table, which we do, an agents table, which we do, and a clients table. We're only asked to work with the clients table, so I'm going to double click that. You can also click and add. And then we're also asked to work from the accounts table. And once we have both those tables on our query stage here, we can close the show table dialog box. And then I suggest taking a moment and expanding these to view. Once you can view them easy, then now we're able to take information. We're going to take these fields and put them down here in the query work area. So the first one is from the clients table, display the client's first name. And I like to come up here and double click and it will drop it down our field. And then it says also last name. You can also click that last name and drag it down into the field, the next field, and let go. From the accounts table, it's asking us to get savings balance. And I double click that one, and then open date, and I'm going to drag that one so you get to see that action. And then it asks us to sort the query by savings balance. So here's our savings balance and here's our sort row. We want to do that in descending order, so it'll have the largest value first. I'm going to say that's the end of step 2. Step 3 is asking us to add a calculated field name account time. So we will put that in this column right here. We want to calculate the number of days each client's account has been open. So we're assuming that today's date is December 31st, 2017. So one of the tips the question number 3 gives us is that we need to remember to put the number symbol around the date to help us tell Access that we're using dates now. Okay, so we're going to actually write a formula right here in our field column. And we're going to call this account time. And you do not want spaces with a colon. And then now we're going to take that date and subtract it from our open date field. But what we want to do first is go Shift 3 so we have that number symbol wrapped around the date field so it knows that we are indeed working with dates, or that Access knows. And then we want to go Shift 3 again at the end of our December 31st, 2017 date. So it again encapsulates the date field, and then we're going to subtract, and now we're going to type a square bracket, which is to the right of your P on your keyboard, and we're going to, I don't think I got that in there. Let's get that in there. There's that square bracket. All right, and then we're going to type the word open date just like we have in our field. Look in our field up here, up in the accounts table where we dragged it down here. Open is capitalized, date is capitalized, and no space. And then we want a close bracket, which is to the right of P, underneath your backspace. And once you've done that, you have your whole formula. You just hit enter, and then that formula has been put in for step 3. It's asking us also now, we're going to continue on. This is kind of like the second part of step 3. It's asking us to format the results in general number and to save the query as an account longevity. So let's finish the general number. Go ahead and make sure you've clicked in your field in your formula for account time, and then come up here in the design tab over here to the right to show and hide, and click on property sheet. Once you're in property sheet, you're going to find it really easy to come over here to format. There's a pull down menu when you click in that row right over here. See the little arrow? And we just want to make sure that we format it in general number, so it's going to be counting days for us, and that has been done. And now it says save the query as account longevity. I like to actually, highlight that term account longevity, so I make sure I spell it the way that the assignment desires. And then I'm going to come back up here to query, my query tab, and I'm going to right click and say save. And when I do that, it gives me a save as dialog box for naming my query. I'm going to Control V to put account longevity in there, or you can type it. Here you can have a space because it's for easy reading in all access objects. I'm going to say OK. It does not ask us to run the query. It asks us then to close the query. I'm going to right click the tab and close, and we are done with step